on Tuesdays on Mackie and Judd.
Yes.
Who gets it and who doesn't? Presented by Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They really get it when it comes to risk management and helping businesses maximize their success. They've been around for over 100 years. They've also been a partner of the Timberwolves, too. Yeah, they know a winner when they see one, just like we do, just like Patrick Beverley does. You can find out more about the industries Federated protects and all the resources they can bring to your business by going to federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. Let's start with Judd. Who gets it? Who doesn't?
All right. I'm going to start with a who gets it. And I am going to stay on the theme of the day thus far. The veteran theme, the guy that you bring in that you say he's going to stabilize us on the field, the court, or the ice, and also off. I don't know if you guys saw his post-game press conference, but Patrick Peterson, the veteran corner who had spent his entire career with the Cardinals and is now in his first year and just returned from a hamstring injury with the Vikings, gets it. And here's why. So Dalvin Cook let it slip in his post-game presser Sunday that Pat P had talked to the team at some point in recent weeks. I think it was probably at the time 3 and 5. Okay. And Pat P elaborated on this then when he got to the podium. And you know what Pat P did, Phil Mackey? He did the opposite of what your guy Zim did. So like Zim in his post-game presser was
my guy.
He's your guy.
By the way, you know what? I'll take him as my guy because he has helped the Vikings figure out their true max potential offensively. Okay.
But what did he say? But what did Zim say? Sunday, fun day, bleep that. This isn't fun for me, all these close games. Pat P got up and told the team, here's the most important thing. Because, as Pat P says, the months of November and December are winning time. What Peterson told his teammates was, we've lost a lot of close games. Are we learning from those? And what are we learning from those games? Mm-hmm. What can we take? And then he said, the point was against the Packers, those lessons were applied. And so it's a close game. And guess what the Vikings did? They won it. That's the exact spin on where the Vikings are, and probably more importantly, where they have been. That's the exact spin I want. A veteran player who says, okay, we've lost 5 of 8 games. What's the productive thing? We've been close. What's the productive thing off of that? What have we learned and what can we apply? That's a veteran, much like Patrick Beverley. Patrick Peterson gets it.
Yeah, I don't know why they would be reluctant to just embrace the close games. You know, if it's one thing if it was like 3 games into the season and, oh man, I'm having heart palpitations. It's like, well, now you're used to it. It's been 10 games, 11 weeks. We're almost to December. This is the identity of the team. Lean into it. Embrace it.
Cardiac kids.
Print the shirts.
Cardiac kids. So, yep, exactly right, Phil.
Yeah, whatever you need to do. All right, Declan, let's stay on Vikings here. You got one?
Yeah. I do have one. You know who gets it? ESPN's Get Up crew, because they seem to absolutely get it when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm just telling you, the Minnesota Vikings are quietly a dangerous team in the NFC. They got 5 losses by 19 points.
Yeah, they're a good football team. That is absolutely, and it's not even quiet to me. Like when you watch, like if you just watch the film of this offense can flat out go. It's all based on how Kirk Cousins plays.
Correct.
Because when he gets the ball to the right people, these skill guys are unstoppable.
The last 2 games, he's 30 of 39 for 459 yards to Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Yeah. It's the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. And the whole NFC needs to understand, to slow down that offense, you got to stop those guys. Good luck.
Wow.
You like that?
Wow.
You like that?
Damn right, I love that. It was pretty impressive because I feel like all I could hear yesterday on Twitter, and a lot of Vikings fans were echoing this, was that all I'm seeing on ESPN and national talking points is Aaron Rodgers was so great. Aaron Rodgers was so great. And I think people are still also sleeping on the fact there's other outlets and there's other national talking heads that are believing in this Vikings team after what they've done in the last 2 weeks. I mean, you just saw Orlovsky's stat right there when Kirk is targeting Jefferson and Thielen, 31 of 40 for like 400-plus yards and basically is untouchable. Their offense is clicking. They're unleashing Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't want to play this team on Wild Card Weekend right now. The way they're trending over these last 2 weeks, can they go on a run and win 4 in a row and get to a Super Bowl? That's going to be damn tough to do. But right now, the Vikings have shown they can play well on the road. Their offense is firing at all cylinders. And it's hard to stop one wide receiver. Like, if you want to take away Justin Jefferson, good luck on that. But you still have Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Tyler Conklin's turned into a nice target for Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't want to play this team on Wild Card Weekend. The ESPN crew gets it on the 2021 Vikings.
I think my one reservation, well, I mean, I have a couple reservations about the team in terms of like Super Bowl contention that they need to iron out the next 6 or 7 weeks. But Wild Card Weekend, I agree. Like, all right, that's the next, that's probably the next milestone or whatever. But I'm so sick of Wild Card Weekend being the milestone for this team. Mm-hmm. And my biggest concern would be, I think they can beat anyone in the NFL on any Sunday. I don't think they can beat anyone in the NFL 3 or 4 consecutive games in January and February. That's the question. Can they, like this win against the Packers, the win against the Chargers? That's awesome. Can you rattle off like 4 of these? Go beat the Niners. Go beat the Rams later on this season, right? Like that's the next bar for this team to clear. Can you beat these winning teams consecutively on a regular basis and stack them up in January and February? Because that's what the bar should be. Let's not be afraid to set the bar into February for a franchise that's, I think, the winningest team without a Super Bowl championship in 60 years.
I have not seen what I would consider to be a championship team, but what I have seen is championship pieces. I've seen championship pieces.
Is that what you're saying?
The pieces are coming into place. Not for, in my opinion, not for 2021. But what I'm saying is I've seen championship pieces utilized right. I feel like I've gotten a glimpse into the future. And if this is done right, I feel good about the future. That's how I feel. Again, you know what? I'm just taking small steps here. I'm taking small steps towards the championship.
I feel like every few weeks we have to remind ourselves and the audience of this message. And so I'm going to go with a who doesn't get it. And it's going to be this random guy on Twitter.
Okay.
MN Sports Fan. All right. Because I think he is representing a vocal portion of the Vikings fan base after 2 straight victories.
Sure.
And he tweets, "You are a bandwagon fan, Mackie. Love the Vikings when we're winning, and when we're losing, Cousins is an overpaid POS.
Position player?
Do us, yes, position player. Do us Vikings fans a favor. Delete your account or just don't comment on Vikings games anymore. I support the Vikings, win or lose. I don't waver. You call yourself a fan when we are winning. If they aren't winning, it's fire Zimmer. Cousins is overpaid. Blah, blah, blah." And this is going to be our regular reminder and message to all Vikings fans and, hell, all sports fans just in general. Blindly supporting your favorite team without any sort of criticism or pushback when they underperform doesn't make you a good fan or a great fan or a better fan. I think it just means you're brainwashed. Like, be whatever fan you want, I guess, but don't think that you are a superior fan. In fact, I think it's the opposite. If you just blindly, Laquan Treadwell, well, I guess, whatever. Like, if you don't feel like you can criticize, that's fine. But don't bring that tone to other fans who do want to hold their team accountable. All right?
Yeah.
So random guy on Twitter doesn't get it, is what I'm saying.
And the problem with that thought process is it literally means you don't care about a championship.
Yeah.
Like, it literally means
if you don't want your team, if you don't care about your team winning a championship, does that make you a better fan than the fans that want the team to win a championship?
I think
we're very clear on this show in Purple Dale. We want titles, man. And the bar has been set way too low for way too long in the Twin Cities. We want championships. It's been 30 years since one of the 4 men's sports teams in this town, the major, like, longtime heritage franchises, has won a championship. And it doesn't mean that we're bandwagon jumpers. It means when something's not right, we're going to be honest about it. And I like that a lot of fans are coming along with that idea. It's been fun to watch.
I agree completely. And the thing is, by doing this, what you're doing is you are at least setting an expectation, because the comeback is, do you guys think the people care? Like, the teams don't care what you guys say. No, but if the whole town has an expectation of, you need to win a championship, that's a good expectation.
And by the way,
there is inherent pressure in numbers.
Here's the
class
dirty little
action
secret.
suit, basically.
I'm not saying they care what we have to say, but organizations do care what media in general thinks and says. Like, they can say that I don't read anything. That's BS. They read, they listen, they watch, and if there's enough of a sentiment in one direction, I don't think you should run your franchise based on what fans and media think. That's how you wind up with Tim Tebow as your starting quarterback, 10 years ago. But to say that organizations just shut out all noise from media and fans is completely incorrect. Mm-hmm. They all have rabbit ears. Mm-hmm. All right, back to Judd.
Who doesn't get it? Unfortunately, I'm going to pick on the National Football League here and say this. As I watch games on a weekly basis and see the literal war of attrition that this league brings, and the star players who get hurt, and the guys, good players, hurt, the 17th game and possibly down the road 18th, I know it's more football. It's unnecessary.
You sissy.
16
football.
Games.
Put some icy hot on it and get your ass out there.
You know what I don't want? I don't want when we get to the playoffs, it should be the best. It should be the best that football has to offer. And the more that you add games, the more you knock guys out.
Should be the strongest. Get rid of the weak.
I don't want that. Football. I don't want that. Make it 16 games and let's have the playoffs. This is the one sport where I really think lengthening the season is a detrimental move to the quality of the product, which, by the way, at a lot of junctures already can be questionable. 16 games was perfect. I don't need more games. And you're going to try to go to 18. And I just don't know. Like, every week we see more and more guys go down and they can't play, and they're legitimately hurt. Like, they're not weak people. They are legitimately hurt. It does not help your product as far as what we get from a fan base as far as the quality goes.
Just throw an extra bye in there and football. Figure it out.
16 games was fine.
Is the difference between 16 and 17 really like?
No, but 18 will be, and they're trying to go to 18.
I think you need.
And 17 is too many.
Toughen up.
18 is going to be, unfortunately, we don't want guys out. We want the best players playing, and I don't want rosters decimated consistently, and that's what we're getting.
Here's also what's so weird is I believe Greeny pointed out this fact right after the Super Bowl last season on his show, because the Super Bowl this year is the day before Valentine's Day, I believe, because Valentine's Day is on a Monday this year, so then the Super Bowl is late. Usually, the Monday after the Super Bowl is the most common day that men order flowers for their significant other on Valentine's Day. That no longer can be the case. The next day after this year's Super Bowl is Valentine's Day.
Oh, next to Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it's after Valentine's Day. So now men are going to have to figure out when they have to order their flowers.
Why? But why?
So guys are just in like a great mood after the Super Bowl, and they just buy flowers?
Men are in tunnel vision, I think, of like football, and now that that's over with, they have nothing to look forward to. They're like, oh crap, I have to do the one thing that I have to like do for Valentine's Day, which I don't think is necessarily getting flowers, but yeah, it is hilarious that is going to completely change going forward.
So you're saying that the extra game has now
derailed a lot of men's
saved
plans.
Men some money actually from not having to buy flowers twice.
Either not buying flowers twice or pivoting at the last minute to find a Valentine's Day gift.
Valentine's Day is so overrated.
That's not my who doesn't get it either, by the way. I want to make that very clear. I don't have.
Yeah,
that
we
who
didn't
doesn't
think
get
that.
It. Okay.
No, you still have your allotted time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I still have time. Who doesn't get it? Maybe myself and those who think Kirk Cousins is a check down Charlie. Here's Kirk on the field after the win with ESPN when asked about that very question.
It feels like a long time ago that we were talking about you as a check down guy. All of a sudden now you're throwing dimes deep on third down, a critical one to Justin Jefferson. What does that say about your willingness to take some chances?
I mean, if you know what you're talking about, you can go back and watch 7 years of me playing and know that there's a lot of times the ball's going a long ways in the air, and today was no different.
Yeah. I'm just watching Kirk over these last two games. There's nothing that's any different over the last few years, man. The last 2 weeks, he's been slinging the ball. I should know better. Everyone else should know better. I'm not a check down Charlie. You got to go back and watch all the tape, just like Kirk always says. He's not a check down Charlie.
There's this thing called data that you can go and actually prove things. Okay.
Yeah.
So before this week against the Packers, and even if you want to go back, because he was throwing the ball down the field against the Chargers too, Kirk Cousins was third to last in average depth of target this season, which was and even before the Chargers game, it was statistically one of the best seasons of his career. Average depth of target was like 6 yards per throw in the air. Lamar Jackson was at the top of the list at like 11 or 12 yards. The Packers game, 11 or 12 yards. I don't have it in front of me. It was like 11 and a half yards per throw in the air. So he was throwing the ball twice as far in the air against the Packers as he had on average in all of the games leading up to that. So to make it sound like, well, I mean, if you really know what you're talking about, this is who I've been. And there's a lot of Kirk stans who love to bring that out. Like, well, this is who he's always been, and now you're just finally seeing it. Okay, yeah, he daggered the Saints in a playoff game, and that was great, and he daggered the Broncos. But that win, that fourth quarter comeback or game-winning drive, I guess it was both, right? But the game-winning drive against the Packers, I believe that was his first game-winning drive against a winning team outside of that Saints playoff game as a Viking. So he's doing it sometimes against losing teams, but the things he's doing against winning teams, average depth of throw now the last couple games, and then last 5 minutes of fourth quarter overtime, we brought those stats yesterday to Purple Daily. Like, it's a different level for him this year. He deserves to be praised for it. Doesn't mean that people that criticized him for the first 4 years were wrong. It means he is a different quarterback in those situations. God, I'm fired up today.
Fake news, Phil.
I'm ready to fight.
Fake news. You know what? Your stats are fake news.
It's a week-to-week league. I'm just seeing the week-to-week performances from the Chargers and Packers, and I'm seeing him slinging it. I don't know who was calling him a checkdown guy. Maybe
Darlington.
It was me. Yeah.
Unmasked too. I hope he does not have COVID. That's going to be a problem.
He has paid Kirk to do two things largely: help beat winning teams, and him and Zim together were like 5-19 against winning teams coming into the season, and carry your team at the end of games, whether it's a defensive battle or a shootout, whether you already scored in the fourth quarter or not. In the last 4 or 5 minutes, if the ball comes back to you and it's time to hold serve, you got to hold serve. Like, you wouldn't pay someone $35 or $40 million if they can't do those two things. What's the point,
just
right?
Enjoy what's going on.
And he's doing those two things now.
Yeah, but it feels like now you're just. I mean, Declan and I have been on the bandwagon all year. We never question anything. Why don't you delete your account?
Delete your account.
Just delete your account.
Just delete
yourself from the world.
Why don't you just root for the Seahawks?
All right, you know who gets it? New Mexico State football. You have any idea why? You guys see this?
Yeah.
No,
Declan saw this?
No.
Yep, I saw this.
No.
Sources to footballscoop.com. New Mexico State. Hold on. Footballscoop.com.
Reckless speculation.
New Mexico State expected to make a coaching change. Jerry Kill expected to make his full-time return to head coaching after a 7-year absence.
Oh, my God.
But wait,
sources say. Oh, that's interesting.
Let's see. Why is it so interesting, Phil?
Schedule 2022. So New Mexico State footballschedules.com.
Oh, no.
New Mexico State. Thursday, September 1st at Huntington Bank Stadium to face the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Jerry.
Jerry. Maybe Jerry Kill gets it. Is what this New Mexico State and Jerry Kill. Let's get it, dude. This is great. Those two guys hate each other.
I know they do, but I mean, I'm. Oh no.
So I worry about Jerry's health.
Yeah,
I don't
so
feel like
do
this is a good
I.
move. But I
Right.
wonder, was Jerry Kill? Was he scanning the Gopher football schedules between like 2021 and 2025 and saying, if any of these 15 opponents have a coaching opening, I want in. So Jerry Kill versus Pj Fleck, September 1st, 2022 at the bank. Get your popcorn ready. That's right. Wave the flag.
I don't have one. No. This is a terrible
How can you
idea.
be out on this?
Well, no, I'm just saying for Jerry's sake. This is just a terrible idea for him.
It doesn't feel like a good health move.
I mean, like with his health and he genuinely quit here because of his health problems. It wasn't like some man. That was a stupid decision. Yeah, and he's had problems since then too. Like he tried to be the OC at Rutgers, right? And had more health problems.
I don't remember specifically, but yeah.
Anyway, I no, that's just not smart, man.
Well, I hope that his health holds up.
Yeah, that's the thing
if it does, the things that he said about Pj Fleck, he came on our show.
I know. No, it's juicy.
With Doogie like 4 years ago and just unleashed and cut a vein open for like 30 minutes. God, we should find that and play that.
I produced that show. I remember that vividly. That was like one of the most fun I've ever had live producing a radio show. Was that moment.
No, you're so right. He hates Pj Fleck.
Sliced a vein.
He hates Pj Fleck.
I'm pretty sure we asked him like 3 questions, and he just talked for 30 minutes and just ripped Pj Fleck at the Gophers.
I think his words were, "I'll never step foot on that campus ever again."
Yeah,
I think
unless he's getting paid $1 million a year by New Mexico State.
I think he said, "I'll never step foot on that campus again in TCF Bank Stadium." So clearly, he banks at Huntington instead, and he's like, "Oh, Huntington Bank Stadium, of course I'll step foot in there. I bank there." Anyway, I don't like this. I'm just
all right. Who we got to get to random season recall, but any other final? Who gets?
Yeah, I've got yes. I've got one more real quick one. Who does not get it? Our friends at the Minnesota Twins, Jake Cave. Really? Jake Cave was arbitration eligible. This was the perfect time to say, Jake, we appreciate all that you've done. We think you're going to be a great Albuquerque Duke, or we think you're going to be a great Iowa Cub, or whatever you're going to be. But, best of luck from your friends at the Twins. Happy holidays. And instead, they signed him to a 1-year, $800,000 contract, which now tempts Rocco Baldelli to play him. And I saw a bunch of stuff. The Twins defenders, this does not mean he's got a spot locked up. He's going to have to make this team out of spring training. Okay, come on. He's made the team. It's just going to Jake Cave. The Twins don't get. What are you doing?
It's just it's to me, it's another example of just a lack of accountability, a lack of standards. Yeah. There are 100 Jake Caves floating around there that, and I'll bring more data to the table. Okay, he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball. One of the worst regularly rostered hitters in baseball the last 2 years. And he's been worth exactly 0.2 wins above a replacement level run-of-the-mill AAA player statistically the last couple years. You chose to hang on to Jake Cave and trade LaMonte Jr. for a middling reliever that you released 6 weweeks later. And LaMonte Jr. got a freaking MVP vote, which I don't think was justified, but he had an incredible season for the best team in baseball. I don't know. I get it. It's not like bringing Jake Cave back and bringing him to camp doesn't make the season or break it. But why? What's the point?
Right.
What? I
have no clue.
You guys were wrong. You thought he was going to be better than he was 3 or 4 years ago, and you're still waiting for him to come around. Move off of it. It's so weird.
Yep.
It's strange.
By the way, gentlemen, I thought this was the case, and I just found it. Jerry Kill in 2011, September 10th of that year, first home game at then TCF Bank Stadium.
Lost to New Mexico State?
Yes, and that's the game in which he had the seizure for the first time. So was
that the Aggie Vision game?
It was no. It was here. That game was there. But it was 28-21. The Gophers lost to New Mexico State. That was Kill's first home game, and it's the game in which I think it was late in that game or at some point in the second half, he had a seizure for the first time. Okay. I thought it was the Aggies. Yeah. So how about that coming full circle?
Jeez, that is kind of amazing. So, yeah, hopefully his health is in a better spot now than it was a few years ago.
Absolutely.
I am looking forward to that uncomfortable handshake after that game. Oh, my
I'm with you on that. Yeah, that's going to be juicy. You're right.
So, all right, every Tuesday, Declan goes back in the archives, the Minnesota Sports Archives. I don't even know what we're supposed to do after Judd just swept the 1983 North Stars.
I'm sitting back on this one. I'm letting Matt
I was surprised on our call sheet today. It was still on there because I kind of maybe thought, oh, is this done?
I mean, should we is it done? Do you think it's done?
It doesn't have to be done.
I don't think it should be done. I don't think
it was just a very impressive performance. Very impressive performance.
Yeah. We could also I know that you have a pecking order idea. We've kind of shelved pecking order too. I think we should think about bringing that back.
I love the pecking order.
It's Thanksgiving week, Thanksgiving foods. I'm
all do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. On-air production meeting as we speak right now.
Tomorrow also our annual Predict the Turkey of the Year award episode.
Which I thought he was retiring, but he's not again. I thought last year was it. Like
he's like the Undertaker of the Turkey of the Year awards.
Yeah.
He can't quit it, man.
I think his
Larry
bosses.
David.
I think his bosses. I think it's more of his supervisors at the Strib are like, "Are you kidding? That's one of the most popular things we publish all year." I think it's why
more
he doesn't retire it.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like if I have the material, I'll make a season. But if there's like a 5-year gap, I'll do that as well. I think those are both.
They don't want a gap there.
All right, random season recall.
Oh, opened at Atlanta.
1999.
They won.
Minnesota Vikings. Judd says they played the Atlanta Falcons, calling his shot right there.
Did. Yeah, a rematch of the 1998.
Full revenge. I would say an eye for an eye. You beat Atlanta in week 1.
Isn't that the greatest thing? Yeah, we beat them in the regular season opener.
We're back.
Eye for an eye.
How many wins for those 1999 Minnesota Vikings?
Judd, I think it was.
I want the exact number too, by the way.
Was it 10 or 11? It was either 10 or 11.
So that team got off to a bad. So that they won that game. I feel like they didn't get off to a great start. Cunningham completely choked, and in Detroit he got benched for Jeff George. Jeff George then came in and played well. They lost to the Rams, I believe, in the playoffs. I'll defer to you on wins. I'm really bad at wins.
It's 10 or 11. I want to nail it.
I'm going to let you guess.
You got to nail it. I'm not giving you
one
on this one.
This is like Declan's just come down with a hammer in this segment.
I remember the Vikings were kind of shook mid-season because like the Rams had come on strong. The Vikings had to make the quarterback change. And I'm trying to remember, I think the Vikings got their mojo back at the end of the season by winning like 3 consecutive games to end the regular season.
Okay.
And then they beat the brakes off like the Saints or somebody.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
The first round.
Yep. Was that game at home, Phil? Was the first round playoff game? Because then they went to St. Louis and lost. So if that game was at home, you're probably right on wins.
I'm just trying to think. Did they win the division? Because I think it's 11-5. But I'm just trying to go through this.
I think you're right. So this is the 1 year. This was, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Holmgren left the Packers after 98 to take over the Seahawks job, okay? Ray Rhodes then became the Packers coach. He was 1 year and done, and it wasn't a record disaster, but it was a disaster.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they didn't win I'm pretty sure the Packers did not win the division. This was not a pop-up year for the Bears, right?
What was the year where they had Anthony Thomas running for like 1,000?
I thought that was early in the 2000s.
I'm going to go 11-5. Final answer.
11-5. Final answer.
Yep.
10-6.
Oh,
I knew it.
The Bucks won the North that year.
11-5.
The Central.
Damn it! Damn it!
In fact, 10-6.
Totally forgot about the Bucks. It was I think 2000, somewhere in there. Dang it! All right,
I forgot about that. My bad too. I should remember the bleeping Buccaneers.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony Dungy.
Let's keep it going here. Right.
So through 6 games, the Vikings turned to Jeff George after Cunningham got off to a poor start. But what was the Vikings' record at that point through 6 games?
Oh, okay.
So
they beat the Falcons in week 1. They were losing at Detroit in halftime, and that's the game that the superstar told us that Cunningham basically told Denny to bench him.
Yeah.
And that's when it turned.
I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this anymore, shockingly. Had they only won a couple games?
Oh, my God.
So Dex, are we in game 6 or game 7 in Detroit?
So you were at game 6. So at the end of week 6, the Vikings, what was their record? And Cunningham got benched in that game. You are correct. Jeff George then took over for the rest of the season.
At the end of that game, because they rallied to win that game.
Yep.
So I think the Falcons, they beat the Lions.
Did they get back to 3-3 then, or was it 2-4? Was it that bad? Were they that bad?
I'm really bad on records. I don't remember. But
I'm pretty sure they lost the first 2 games of that season, and then I'm trying to figure out.
No, they beat the Falcons in week 1. So they won the first game of that season.
That's right.
It felt like a disaster, but coming off of a 15-1 season, 3-3 might have felt like a disaster. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. But then they also, I think it might have been worse than that, because I'm fairly certain they went on a winning streak late in the season to get everyone excited again.
So
like
2-4, you think?
Back.
So
I feel like I'm sabotaging this, but I think it's 2-4.
Okay. Yep.
2-4. Final guess. 2-4.
Nice work. Okay, nice
2
rebound
and
there.
4.
So they beat the Falcons, they beat the Lions, and they lost.
They lost to didn't they lose to like the Dolphins? Like they lost to some AFC team.
Win against the Falcons. Back-to-back losses to the Raiders and at Green Bay.
Raiders. Okay.
A home win against the Bucks, and then 2 straight divisional wins of the Bears and Lions. And then Jeff George took over week 7. They beat the brakes off the Niners at home 40-16, and they went 8-2 the rest of the way.
Okay, that's what it was.
Jeff George was great. And people got pumped.
Until he didn't pick up the ball against the Rams and just watched it.
Yeah.
Ball's on the ground. Jeff George's like, not for me, it's not. I'm not going
So,
after
yeah,
it.
the Vikes did lose that playoff game to the Rams, but they had a home playoff game on Wild Card Weekend over this team. Who did they beat?
So, Judd, they played in back-to-back seasons. I'm pretty sure, like 98, didn't they beat the Cardinals?
They beat
and then
the
so 99 would have been the
Saints. They played the Saints a bunch in the playoffs, so that makes sense.
What? Real quick.
Yeah.
Who did they beat in the 2001 playoffs, though, before they played the Giants?
Was that Dallas?
That's what I'm wondering. Was Dallas 99?
Or was Dallas 99? Okay, so
the Saints. It was like Saints, Cardinals, Dallas, and I'm trying to remember the order.
Oh, I love random season recall. This is great.
Okay, so Dallas. Wait, hold on a second.
Dallas was garbage in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
that was like post Aikman. 99 would have been like the last hurrah with Emmitt Smith, Aikman, and the Vikings finally conquered them. Right?
I recall them kicking the crap out of the Cardinals in '98.
Yep. And who was the Aaron Brooks was the quarterback they beat in the playoffs. That would have been like 2001. I think it was Cowboys.
Cowboys?
They beat the Cowboys at the end of the Aikman.
I feel like you were what? 14 here or so? I feel like this is in the prime of your sports.
We're going to count that?
Fandom. I feel like you were in the prime of your sports. So like if you think it was the Cowboys, let's go Cowboys.
All right.
Cowboys.
I'm only like 60% sure on all these, so all right, Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, final answer in Wild Card Weekend.
Yep.
Yes!
So
27-10.
They basically put the Cowboys dynasty to bed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rough
5
day
years
for
after,
Troy
4
Aikman.
years after.
Rough day for Aikman.
Yeah.
That's Switzer? That's Switzer by then, right?
I think Switzer was gone by then, wasn't he? That would have been
was he?
Chan Gailey or something.
Yeah, Chan Gailey was the coach of the Cowboys.
Was it? Oh, come on.
Oh, gotta give a boy!
Come on.
There it is, baby. Let's go.
Oh, he's back. He's back. He got off to sort of a rough start with the record, but he's back.
The football whisperer
Chan
is
Gailey.
here in the house.
Chan Gailey, another guy who was a good coordinator.
Chan Gailey.
Never should have been a head coach.
That's right.
Wow. Never heard of that name
All
until
right.
right now, by the way.
Chan Gailey?
No.
I guess not. Okay.
No.
All right.
Chan Gailey.
We're
Game
rolling.
over.
We're
Mic drop.
rolling now. We're
I
rolling.
became a Vikings fan the next season because, like, my earliest football memory is that when they beat the Saints at home and then losing 41 donut. That's like my earliest Vikings memories is what I remember.
I don't even count that game. That game was so bad.
Or 2000. I said 01. 01 was the calendar year. That was the 2000 playoffs.
I knew what you're talking about. Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Small stuff.
This was year 2 of Randy Moss. But how many combined touchdowns for Chris Carter and Randy Moss in 1999? And I will give you 3 on either side.
Ooh.
Well, didn't he have like 17 in his rookie year or something?
Yes.
So it was probably a slight down tick from that.
Yeah, it was probably more like a
13.
I was gonna say 12, 13 probably.
And Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdown passes.
Yes, and Chris Carter was still Chris Carter's decline didn't start really until 2001, I think. 2001. Are we talking about near 20 between them, Phil?
It's got to be over 20, I would think. Because Moss probably had like 12 or 13. Carter probably had 10 to 15.
Yeah, and George, to his credit, played really well after he took over. So there was not like a big decline in the passing game.
So if we said like 13 for Moss and like 12, if we said like 25. between the two of them, does
So-
it feel?
and-
I think
and
they're
Dex-
both in double digits.
And Dex, we've got 2 on either side.
Three.
Is that right? Oh, 3 on either side. Yeah.
I think the question is, would
down
it
to
be
22.
how much over 25 would it be, or should we scale? It down
I
to
don't think it's.
24?
No. I think that's pretty good, Phil, because I think that I believe that Moss did come down a few. And Carter, I don't know that he got to. I forget what it was. I don't remember as much for him, but I would say 24 or 25 with a plus minus a 3 is probably fair.
All right, let's go 25.
25. 24. 24.
Oh, 24.
But you still get the point. 24.
We have rebounded.
Oh man,
13 for
let's get
CC.
it.
We are taking
11
that.
for Randy
Cool.
Moss. Carter was a first-team All-Pro. Moss was not. Moss had more yards and just 2 less touchdowns. But yeah, not a bad year for
Chris politicked for that award.
last question here. Well, maybe last question.
Oh, you never know.
Who led the team in tackles that season?
Okay,
Go
that's
on defense.
Ed McDaniel was back on that team, right?
I think so.
Middle linebacker.
Kylie Wong.
I'm gonna guess a linebacker led the team in tackles.
3 guys had over 100 plus tackles on this team.
Oh wow. Okay.
Would Robert Griffith have been?
He'd be on the team. Safety. I think that he probably is one of the guys Declan is alluding to as over
Dwayne
100
Rudd?
tackles. Is Dwayne Rudd still around then?
I thought he wasn't he drafted in was he drafted in 99?
I remember watching him and I remember covering him. I don't remember when he was drafted.
I mean, Ed McDaniel seems like the obvious choice.
He was
here.
he was the middle linebacker, right? No, you know what? He might have not been the middle linebacker. No, I think I'm wrong. I think I spoke out of school.
This is pre-Greg Biekert, right?
Yes, because Beaker was here for a year or
01.
2, and that was the Vic run. Still, the greatest run by an opposing QB in Vikings history.
John Randall was active. I don't think he would have led the team in tackles
That's what I was
as a
thinking
defensive
too.
lineman.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I don't think he might have led the team in sacks that season, but I don't think he led the team in tackles.
I don't have a strong opinion here. I mean, Robert Griffith makes some sense. Ed McDaniel makes some sense.
Well, I'm just thinking a linebacker because that's ordinarily the person
Yeah.
that leads a team in tackles, not the safety. And I don't remember the quality of the defense. I think guessing it was okay. So you shouldn't have a safety if you're a decent team lead the team in tackles.
All right, let's go Ed McDaniel.
Ed McDaniel. Second on the team in tackles with 121.
Damn it.
Wow.
All right. Well, do you want to go back to Griffith then?
All right, Robert Griffith.
Robert Griffith.
There
We
you
were
go.
on it. We were all over it. We were
There you
all
go.
over. We just gave you the top 2.
So their defense must have sieved out more than I thought.
130
Yeah.
tackles, 4 sacks, 3 picks for Robert Griffith.
He was an active. Yeah,
Oh,
they
he
had
was a
him.
good player.
Safety, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We just gave you the top 2 there. It was an exacta.
That
box
was
right there.
that wasn't last week, but it was pretty close.
It was
that was
pretty good.
impressive.
It was pretty good.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Random season recall. We are out there for birthday parties. If
yeah.
you'd like to book us, available for birthday parties, bar mitzvahs.
That's right. We'll just show
whatever,
up and start spewing facts about random Minnesota sports
you've
teams.
got, we can handle it.
Yep. You can call 555. All right. That's a wrap today here. Tomorrow, we've got Write That Down predictions, and we attempt to predict Patrick Royce's Turkey of the Year. It's our annual tradition going back 7 Thanksgivings on Mackie and Judd.
And it's never obvious. That's
No,
the
we'll
other
give
thing.
you sort of the obvious ones, and then we'll go
Right.
with the, what do we think he will do?
Love it, yes.
So we'll see. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.